I'm honored to be here today on behalf of the Clark County Commission. My name is Jim Gibson, and I am a commissioner. Today I am privileged to be able to acknowledge a gift from the Chinese people through a foundation that promotes friendship between the Chinese and the Americans, and is grounded his activities, Mr. Jeff Green, along with his wife Catherine. Jeff Green's primary activities have been related to the Flying Tigers efforts during World War II in China. Tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of peasants in China were killed during the war as the Japanese invaded and did everything they could do to take control of the country. And the Flying Tigers were a group of Air Force planes and crew who defended those people and worked very hard and successfully to liberate them and to ensure that they could go on and live. For their part, the Chinese people protected the Flying Tigers and would give their lives to do whatever they could do. They were so grateful for the support to their freedom from an invading country. And so we're here today as a part of a commemoration to celebrate the gift of 1,000 masks, and these are FDA approved masks, and 30 thermometers, non-touch, non-contact thermometers that will be used to ensure that the way that we care for the children that are the responsibility of Clark County and its social services programs is done in a way that protects everybody. I've asked Kevin Schiller, who is an assistant county manager, to come down and just explain what the use will be and what the need and the demand is for the area of our county that is responsible for the children who need help in this county. And after Kevin is finished, I'm going to ask Jeff to step to the podium and just tell us a little bit about his organization and the things they have done, because there's no way I could do him justice, the things that they've done. It is an incredible thing that has forged and then maintained important, respectful, international relationships among people, which is something that we could all learn a little from in this day and time. So Kevin.
Thank you, Commissioner. First, on behalf of Clark County and our Human Services departments, particularly that of the Department of Family Service, I want to thank the Heritage Foundation for this tremendous gift. We have been dealing and we're charged with protecting children 24/7 every day of the year. And these thermometers, which are the equivalent of gold in the current circumstances we face, as we try to continue to provide adequate care and make sure we protect children of up to 3,000 kids that remain in foster care, but more importantly, kids that are removed from abuse and neglected homes that need these services. These masks and these thermometers will go to great use. We truly appreciate this, and just by nature of us receiving this gift, what this will allow us to do is it actually creates a supply of thermometers, as an example, that we have been actively trying to pursue on an ongoing basis for the past 5 months. So with no end in near sight for this is going to be a critical resource. And again, I really want to thank you, because you really are not just donating this to us, you are protecting kids of Clark County and the most vulnerable youth that exist in our county. So my sincere appreciation and thanks on their behalf. Thank you.
We're very happy that we can make this gift to the county. We know it's going to go to a good cause. I'd like to say just a little bit about what the Commissioner mentioned. There's a very special relationship between the people of the United States and the people of China. Unfortunately, we don't really understand that as the average American, but during World War II, nearly 30 million Chinese were killed as a direct result of the Japanese invasion of their country from 1937 to 1945. The actual first shots of World War II were actually fought in China. And during that time, the Japanese just did everything that a conqueror would normally do to a foreign country. In 1941, 100 pilots under a general named Chenault went to China as volunteers. They were secretly kind of put in there by President Roosevelt as an effort to slow the Japanese down. And they just happened to be ready for training and finished their training when Pearl Harbor occurred. So they were the first group of Americans to actually meet the Japanese Air Force, which was pretty powerful. And they were the first Americans who actually beat the Japanese in combat. And because of that, they became almost overnight legendary. One thing, we've had over 500 of these men, first the Flying Tigers and then the 14th Air Force, men of the United States Army Air Forces who came afterwards. We've taken over 500 of them to China as guests of the Chinese government. And it is really amazing to see thousands of Chinese who come out and see them and thank them. And it's just, normally you wouldn't think that's important. But again, what the commissioner was mentioning, if a pilot was shot down and he were rescued by the Chinese, it was an instant death sentence to the Chinese and their families. An example, the Doolittle raid, which was very important, 30 seconds over Tokyo. Those 58 airmen who landed in China were all basically rescued. 5 or 6 were captured, but the other 58 were returned. And as a retaliation, that area south of Shanghai, Fujian, 250,000 Chinese were killed within 6 months. Entire villages of the Japanese got word that a village had helped these American pilots. Everybody was killed. Everybody, children, women, the chickens, the dogs, everything. They just subjugated in retaliation. And they thought that would be an example to the Chinese people. Well, over 900 American airmen were rescued after that. There's not one case of a Chinese not doing everything they could to help these Americans. So, going forward today, we have a wonderful connection to the Chinese. They have a wonderful connection to us through the memories of our basic and Flying Tigers. So that's what our foundation has been doing since 1998. We work with the People's Association for Friendship of Foreign Countries. It's a ministerial level organization, brings people together, brings foreign leaders together. They've always been our hosts when we brought our veterans to China. And they donated these 40,000 masks. Just parenthetically, when the epidemic started, we worked with the Chinese community in the San Francisco Bay Area with our veterans. And between LA and San Francisco, we raised about $70,000 for PPE equipment that we sent to China. So we were kind of ahead of the schedule. Now that the shoe is on the other foot, so to speak, the Chinese are sending this to us, returning the favor to our veterans who helped us send them equipment. We had a very nice letter from the Secretary General of Wuhan. I'll give you a copy of it, Mike, thanking us for doing that. So they're very happy to do this, and I just want it to be stated that despite the moment, there will always be a level of tremendous understanding and affection for Americans from the Chinese people. So this is an example of that. Thank you.
Well, Jeff, on behalf of Clark County, and I'd like both of you, maybe what we could do is move and Catherine to the Sino-American Aviation Heritage Foundation, which is the organization you spoke of a moment ago. We present you a proclamation that recognizes and celebrates the goodness of the people behind this donation, the spirit in which it was given, and the need that is being met. Thank you so very much.
That's great. Commissioner, thank you. It's a beautiful proclamation.
So we're going to get pictured here.